This week on Boring Gear Reviews, we've got the Psychosis from Humanoid Pedals. Thanks to Bill from Humanoid for sending me the pedal. The Psychosis is a Tweed-inspired overdrive with a tremolo. For controls, we have volume, which controls the overall output of the pedal while it's on. Then we have gain, which, as you guessed it, will control the amount of gain. The different thing here is that it's never clean. So even if you roll the gain all the way off, it's still a dirty overdrive. And then it rolls off to like very kind of thick, squashed, like a Tweed sound when you're overdriving a small vintage Fender style amp. We have tone, which will act as your EQ, all the way counterclockwise. You're going to roll off a bunch of high end, and the more you turn it clockwise, you're going to introduce more high end. It never gets like harsh or shrill though. Then we have speed and depth, and that will control the speed of the tremolo and the depth of the tremolo respectively. Here, one thing to note is that when you roll it all the way off for both knobs, it's never completely off. It'll be, somewhat imperceptible, but it's still there. It's never completely out of the circuit. For today's demo, I'm using my all-stock 1988 Burny RSG-63-60. In this first clip, we're going to have the gain completely off in the Psychosis, so this will be as clean as it gets, and you'll hear that it's still, fairly dirty. And then we're going to have the volume around 4 o'clock. We're going to keep the tone around 9, and I'm going to have the tremolo on, so the speed will be around 10 o'clock and the depth at noon. And in the second half of the clip, I'm going to engage the JPTR FX Fernweh to add some delay behind the signal. And what you'll hear is a very kind of tight and percussive vintage style amp. So there's going to be a good deal of warmth in the saturation while also still having like a very nice low end push. Enjoy. All right, in this next clip, we're going to turn the tremolo off, and I'm going to max the other 3 controls. So I'm going to get all the drive I can out of the volume and the gain, and I'm going to have the tone all the way up. What's nice here is that everything kind of compresses really aggressively, and that allows the sound to kind of feel like it's crumbling and exploding, but it has nowhere to go. So you still get enough percussiveness and definition to hear what's going on. It's a super cool sound, and once again, it's something you would expect out of like a Tweed style amp. And for our final clip, we're going to have the volume at 3, the gain at noon, the tone around 11, and then both controls of the tremolo maxed. So this will be as fast and as kind of choppy as the trem gets. We'll once again pair it with the Fernweh for some delay and almost reverb aspect underneath. And what I like about this is how warm this is. It does not get super duper bright, definitely does not get brittle, and there's a lot of punch to it. And when you're playing in this setting, and picking lighter and then digging in heavier, you can hear those characteristics kind of bloom and open up as you play. It's really nice. that'll do it for the Psychosis from Humanoid Pedals. If you are in the market for a vintage voiced overdrive that has a lot of character, is definitely not sterile or clean, I mean, this doesn't get clean at all, then this is a cool choice. I would love if the tremolo could be completely switched off. And one thing to note also is when you turn up the depth of the tremolo, the characteristic of the gain changes a bit, and there is quite a bit of a volume drop. So you have to make that up with the volume control. But overall, it's a great sound, very fun to play. And yeah, it's built well, top jacks, top power. What more do you want? As I mentioned in my last video, we are over 1,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for that. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. And to that end, if you head over to my Instagram tomorrow, Friday, I will be announcing what we're doing to celebrate that. So link in the description below, or you can follow me at Boring Gear Reviews on Instagram. As always, all the gear I'm using is linked in the description below, and I will see you next week for another video. Peace.